Little fish rescues the moon. In the sky, the round moon shimmered and cast its reflection on the lake, resembling a glistening jade plate. A group of little fish swam to the water's surface to admire the moon, captivated by its beauty. Suddenly, one little fish cried out, "Oh no! Oh no! The moon has fallen into the water." As soon as the other fish heard this, they all looked into the water and gasped in shock. Wow, this is really not good at all. There was indeed a moon in the water, and the fish were frantic. They discussed and tried to figure out how to lift the moon back into the sky. They swam underneath the moon, attempting to push it to the surface. Ripples formed on the lake, and miraculously, the moon disappeared from underwater. Another little fish shouted, "It's up there! It's up there! The moon is back in the sky!" The fish were overjoyed and embraced one another. However, before long, the water's surface became calm again, and the moon fell back into the water. The little fish once more started to fuss. Just then, Fish Mom arrived and saw her children busily struggling. She asked, "What's going on with you all?" The little fish replied, "The moon fell into the water. We are trying to rescue it." Fish Mom looked at the moon in the sky and then at the moon in the water. She chuckled and said to her children, "The moon in the water is just the reflection of the moon in the sky, you silly little ones." Upon hearing their mother's words, the little fish either jumped with joy or circled around her, happily exclaiming, "Mom, you know so much. So that's how it is." The little fish learned a valuable lesson that night. The moon they saw in the water was only a reflection of the one in the sky. And with their mother's guidance, they understood the wonders of the world around them. The pig family's neighbor. Mr. and Mrs. Pig, full of excitement, moved into their new home with their little piglet. Their neighbor was a fox. On the first day, Mrs. Fox visited the pig family and asked, "Mrs. Pig, do you have a hairdryer? Can I borrow it for a moment?" Mrs. Pig warmly replied, "Of course. Wait a moment, and I'll get it for you." Mrs. Fox took the hairdryer and left. Later in the evening, Mrs. Pig wanted to use the hairdryer but couldn't find it anywhere. Unbeknownst to her, Mrs. Fox had not yet returned it. On the second day, Mr. Fox came to the pig family and said, "Mr. Pig, do you have a razor? Can I borrow it?" Mr. Pig replied enthusiastically, "Certainly. Wait a moment, and I'll get it for you." Mr. Fox took the razor and left. In the evening, Mr. Pig needed to use the razor but couldn't find it. Little did he know that Mr. Fox had not yet returned it. On the third day, young Fox came to the pig family and asked, "Piglet, do you have Ultraman DVDs? Can I borrow them to watch?" The young pig kindly responded, "Sure. Wait a moment, and I'll get them for you." Young Fox took the DVDs and left. Later in the evening, the little pig wanted to watch the DVDs but couldn't locate them. Unbeknownst to him, young Fox had not yet returned them. Days went by, and the things borrowed from the pig family by the fox family kept piling up. But the fox family always seemed to forget to return these items. Frightened by the situation, Mr. Pig, Mrs. Pig, and their little piglet had no choice but to move once again. Friend, wishing you happiness. Mr. Beaver lived alone by the riverbank, with no neighbors nearby. In front of his house, there was a tranquil river that flowed gently. Mr. Beaver had a daily habit. Each morning, he would fold a small boat out of colored paper. Writing on its sail, "Friend, wishing you happiness." He would then set the boat afloat in the river, letting it quietly drift away. He had maintained this practice for many years without change. One day, the quiet riverside suddenly burst into excitement. Just as Mr. Beaver set down his little boat, a group of animals surrounded him. Among them were a hedgehog, an otter, a mink, and 2 young frogs. They were all joyfully exclaiming, "Aha! We've found you! So, you're the one making the boats. Thank you." Mr. Beaver felt quite puzzled, unsure of what was happening. Then, Mr. Otter spoke up, saying, "We all live by this river, and each morning, we see a little paper boat with 'Friend, wishing you happiness' written on its sail, floating down the stream. It warms our hearts." "Indeed," added Mrs. Mink, "sometimes when I encounter something unpleasant, all I need is to see that little boat and think of an unknown friend caring for me. It helps me let go of my troubles, casting them into the river." "Mr. Beaver," the 2 young frogs chimed in eagerly, "you have brought happiness to all of us." Mr. Beaver beamed with happiness. "I had no idea my little boats brought so much joy. I thought I was all alone, but in truth, I have so many friends." Everyone clapped and laughed, saying, "Let's become great friends. Even though we're far apart, these little boats connect us, and none of us will ever feel lonely."
Dr. Big Dog. This is the Gan family. This is their big dog, who is a doctor. Big brother Gan was secretly smoking in the garage, and he was coughing badly. "Smoking is bad for your health," Dr. Big Dog said. "Our lungs, like sponges inside our chest, are our breathing organs. Smoking brings dirty soot into the lungs, which hinders their proper function and causes coughing. Gan's little sister got caught in the rain and caught a cold, and her throat hurt. Her tonsils are inflamed," Dr. Big Dog said. "I have to perform surgery for her." He removed Gan's little sister's tonsils. Gan's little brother scratched his head like crazy, constantly itching his scalp. "There are parasite eggs on his head," Dr. Big Dog said. "This one is a head louse, living in your hair." He applied shampoo to Gan's little brother's hair to kill those head lice. "Never share combs with others again," Dr. Big Dog warned. Baby Gan didn't wash his hands after using the toilet, and then sucked his thumb. He also let other kids stick their fingers into his nostrils. He has parasites in his stomach, and these parasites hatch into small bugs in the intestines. "No more sucking your thumb," Dr. Big Dog insisted. Gan's big sister felt dizzy. This must be due to all her recent somersaults. Gan's parents and MOM laughed. "Nonsense," Dr. Big Dog said unhappily. "It's because her ear hurts." Inside the ear, there are tiny bones that help us maintain balance. Earaches can affect these tiny bones and make us feel dizzy. Dr. Big Dog gave her some pills. Grandpa Gan ate too many roasted beans and drank too much beer. He has a bloated stomach, Dr. Big Dog said. Beer and roasted beans create gas in the stomach. The only solution is to release the gas. At that moment, Grandpa couldn't hold it any longer. He let out a loud fart that almost blew off the roof. "I told you so," Dr. Big Dog said. After the roof was repaired, everyone had regained their health, but Dr. Big Dog wasn't feeling well himself. "You have too much stress," his doctor said. "You need a vacation, temporarily away from this troublesome family." So, Dr. Big Dog went on vacation. This story contains humor that might not be suitable for all young readers, depending on their age and sensibilities. "I'm really sorry." Ding ling ling. Ding. Ling ling, the school bell rang, and the kids started playing happily in the schoolyard. Monkey Brother was somersaulting on the ground, and Piggy, serving as the cheerleading captain, was energetically leading her friends in applauding for Monkey Brother. Ding ling ling, ding ling ling, the end of recess bell rang, and Monkey Brother dashed into the classroom at the fastest speed, quietly hiding behind Piggy's desk. Piggy rushed into the classroom, with sweat pouring down her face, but she didn't notice that Monkey Brother was hiding behind her desk. Just as Piggy was about to sit down, Monkey Brother pulled her chair back hard, and there was a loud bang. Piggy ended up sitting on air, falling backward and landing on her back. Oh my goodness! What just happened? Where's my chair? Piggy whimpered, wincing in pain. The back of Piggy's head had hit the desk leg, and there was even a small cut with a bit of blood. Piggy was taken to the school nurse's office, where Dr. Orangutan treated her injury. As he was applying medicine, he said, if the wound had been a bit deeper, it could have been very dangerous. Monkey Brother felt deeply regretful. He said to Piggy, I'm really sorry. I didn't expect things to get so serious. I'll never dare to play such pranks again. This story conveys a message of taking responsibility and apologizing for one's actions. It's suitable for children to read and learn about the importance of being careful with their behavior. The most beautiful rainbow ants. Ants were crawling out of the tree cracks, breathing fresh air and basking in the golden sunlight. The lush mountains, sparkling water, green grass, and vibrant flowers made this day perfect. While crawling along the tree roots, Crawley suddenly spotted a green ant. Crawley had never seen an ant so beautiful. Crawley exclaimed, "Your color is so lovely." His loud voice attracted his 5 friends. Everyone gathered around the green ant, admiring and praising it. Feeling shy, the green ant whispered, "Actually, I'm just a black ant. This morning, a drop of green water fell on me while I was playing outside, and I turned into a green ant." How strange! Could water from the sky be green? Crawley looked up at the azure sky, with the sun smiling down at the 7 ants. There was no green water anywhere. The green ant pointed in the direction it had been when the water fell. "I was over there when I encountered the green water. Would you like me to take you there?" Crawley was excited and followed the green ant. The other 5 ants followed suit. The green ant led them to the lake, and there, Crawley saw a little rabbit by the lakeside, painting the beautiful scenery. Curiosity got the better of him, and he crawled over. At that moment, a purple drop of water fell on him, and his body turned purple. His friends were thrilled and cheered. "Crawley has turned into a purple ant." Their excited voices caught the attention of the little rabbit. She looked down and saw 7 ants underneath her easel. "Oh, you're the ants. What are you doing making so much noise and disturbing my peaceful painting?" she asked. "Sorry, we're ants, and we're under your feet," replied Crawley. "All right, I see you now," the little rabbit replied, noticing the 7 ants under her easel. "Sister Rabbit, can you help us by painting us too? We'll look beautiful with colors," suggested one of the ants. They discovered that the colored water came from the little rabbit's paint. "Of course, I can help you," said the little rabbit. She carefully painted each of the other 5 ants with various colors: red, orange, yellow, green, and blue. They looked stunning. Wearing their new colorful attire, the ants cheerfully walked back home. Suddenly, it started to rain, and a grasshopper was busy collecting edamame beans from the lawn. The ants rushed to help him. Meanwhile, a monkey was strolling in the forest and captured the heartwarming scene with his camera. Click, click. He took several photos and printed one out. Wow, such beautiful rainbow ants. Monkey Big Brother, could you give us one of those pictures? Crawley really wanted to have a picture that looked as beautiful as this one. Of course, you can have one. This photo will be in the newspaper tomorrow. The monkey was a photojournalist for the Forest Daily and was quite pleased with the news photo he had taken today. As the ants parted ways with the monkey, it began to rain, but they stood in a line and held the photo high to shield themselves from the rain. Underneath the photo, they chatted, "Will our photo be on the front page tomorrow? I look so beautiful in the picture. My pose while moving edamame beans was the coolest." The joyous conversation of the ants echoed through the forest, blending with the rain's sound, creating a beautiful resonance. This story conveys a message of beauty in diversity and collaboration, promoting unity and celebration of differences. It's suitable for children to read and learn the values of teamwork and acceptance. The Watermelon Monsters. Summer had arrived, and Big Brother Pig, Little Piglet Lala, and Little Piglet Dodo were heading to their grandma's house. On the way, they passed by a watermelon field, and their mouths watered at the sight of the giant watermelons. "Hey, look over there, Dodo. There's a super big watermelon," Lala excitedly shouted. "Where is it?" Dodo rushed over. "Wow, it's even bigger than us." "Indeed, it's enormous. How can we eat it?" Dodo wondered, wiping the drool from his mouth. "Watch me." Lala grabbed a sharp rock and smashed it onto the watermelon. Ha! The watermelon split into two, and watermelon juice gushed out like a little stream. Lala ate half and Dodo ate the other half. Their bellies swelled round like balloons. Boom, boom, boom. Thunder rumbled, and it started to rain. Dodo said, "Big Brother, it's raining. What do we do?" "No worries, we've got umbrellas," Lala chuckled. "Umbrellas? We didn't bring any," Dodo said, puzzled. "Yes, we do. Look." Lala placed a watermelon rind on his head. Ha! It's a watermelon rind umbrella. Dodo placed a watermelon rind on his head as well. The raindrops pattered on the watermelon rinds, creating a pleasant ding-dong sound. Moreover, the watermelon rinds smelled wonderfully sweet. After a short walk, the rain stopped and the sun came out. The two piglets arrived at a small river. "Big Brother, we don't have a boat. How will we cross the river?" "We do have a boat." Lala patted the watermelon rind, placed it in the water, and hopped on. The two piglets used the watermelon rind as a boat, and soon they were on the other side of the river, reaching a small grove of trees. Once they passed through the grove, they'd arrive at Grandma's house. Just then, they spotted a big lion in the distance. "Oh, Big Brother, I'm scared. The lion is coming." Dodo was so frightened that he had an accident in his pants. "Don't be afraid. I know how to scare him away." Lala remained calm and composed. He carved 3 large holes into the watermelon rind, put it on his head, and made a scary noise. Ha ha, the watermelon monster is coming. Dodo was initially startled but burst into laughter and mimicked Lala. The lion was walking when it suddenly saw two watermelon monsters with gaping, blood-curdling mouths rushing toward him. Terrified, the lion turned and ran, crying help. Watermelon monsters. Ha ha, we scared the lion away. Yay! Lala and Dodo tossed the watermelon rinds and held hands, walking cheerfully toward Grandma's house. This story is a delightful adventure that encourages creativity and resourcefulness while emphasizing the power of imagination. It's suitable for children to read and enjoy the whimsical storytelling. The Little Bear Who Loved Corn Pancakes. The little bear stared at the rusty skillet, and with each passing moment, his sadness deepened. His teardrops rolled in his eyes, ready to fall. At this time last year, when fresh corn was in season, his mom used to shine the skillet every day to make corn pancakes for him. The process of making corn pancakes was like magic to the little bear. After a few swift moves, she would clean the corn cobs, scrape off the kernels, mash them into corn paste, add an egg, and with a sizzling sound, she'd brush a thin layer of oil on the skillet. Then, she'd spread the corn paste onto the pan, and in no time, the delicious aroma would fill the air. Finally, his mom would serve the golden corn pancakes on a white plate and sprinkle them with finely chopped green onions. Afterward, she'd ask, "Sweetie, do you love these?" The little bear's answer was always, "Who wouldn't love corn pancakes?" Indeed, who wouldn't love corn pancakes? However, this year, it seemed like mom had forgotten all about it. The little bear was sure she'd forgotten because, starting from spring, she'd been leaving home early and returning late, even up until now. The little bear's teardrops fell onto the rusty skillet, creating a gentle pitter-patter sound. He thought, "This is the skillet for corn pancakes. How could it get wet with tears?" So, he quickly grabbed a cloth to wipe away the tears. While doing so, he noticed some of the rust had disappeared. Suddenly, an idea struck him. If mom saw the skillet like this, maybe it would remind her of something. So, he polished the skillet until it gleamed and left it by the doorway where mom couldn't miss it. After a while, he thought, if mom sees the skillet with corn beside it, she'll surely understand my message. He rushed out to buy some fresh corn cobs and thought, if I brush the skillet with oil again, mom will definitely understand what I want. He carried the skillet back into the kitchen. Corn pancakes. Who doesn't love corn pancakes? The little bear whispered to himself, all the while busy at work. Ding dong, ding dong. When the doorbell rang, the little bear was busy wiping off his sweat. He hung up the cloth and opened the door, only to be surprised that mom had returned home so early. While taking off her shoes, she exclaimed, "Come see, little one. Look what mom has brought." She took a bag from behind her back, and the little bear realized it contained fresh, tender corn cobs. Normally, he'd be jumping with joy at this, but today he just smiled and said, "Oh." With the corn in hand, mom headed to the kitchen, continuing to talk. Mom has finally wrapped up her work these last few months. It's been early mornings and late nights, but it was all worth it. Now, I have some time for my beloved. Oh, first, there was an astonished sound from mom. Then, everything went silent. The little bear, feeling anxious, stepped into the kitchen. What he saw left him in disbelief. Mom had tears in her eyes as she placed 2 plates of corn pancakes on the table. The little bear stammered, "Mom, this is the first time I've cooked, and I didn't do it very well." Mom put her hand on the little bear's head and smiled. "No, you did wonderfully. I never expected." The little bear said, "Mom, what about you?" She hugged him tightly and whispered Mom's eyes just got a little sweaty. Now, Mom and the little bear were enjoying the delicious corn pancakes. The little bear couldn't resist asking, "Mom, do you love them?" Mom laughed and said, "Who wouldn't love corn pancakes, my little bear?" The little bear noticed a twinkle in his mom's eyes, and he knew his eyes sparkled the same way. This delightful story teaches children about the importance of love and family bonds, highlighting the efforts one can make to express their affection. It's suitable for children to read and appreciate its heartwarming message. Mr. Pineapple's Secret. The gentle breeze rustled through the room as moonlight bathed the interior in a soft, tranquil glow. Little Dodo and her sister lay in their tiny beds, fast asleep. "What a beautiful night! Let's have a moonlight party," a voice broke the silence of the night. It was Miss Banana speaking. "All right," the fruits cheered in unison, leaping out of the fruit basket in a line. "Let's start with introductions." Miss Banana began to sing, "I'm Banana, so sweet, curvy and neat, like a crescent boat in the moonlit sea." "How lovely!" the fruits chimed in. Next up were Mr. Watermelon and Mr. Orange. The towering Mr. Watermelon announced, "I'm the big, juicy watermelon, the perfect summer thirst quencher." "I'm Orange, I'm sweet and tangy," Mr. Orange declared, bouncing on top of Mr. Watermelon's head. They began to perform a juggling act. So impressive. The fruits cheered and clapped. "It's so noisy." A prickly character hopped out of the fruit basket, clearly annoyed. Miss Banana inquired, "And who might this prickly gentleman be?" "I'm not a cactus. I just hate parties," Mr. Prickly replied, grumpily. At that moment, Dodo crawled out from under the table and said, "I'm here to tell everyone that he is Mr. Pineapple." "Dodo, why aren't you asleep?" the fruits asked in surprise. "I got up to use the bathroom and saw you having a party. I didn't want to disturb you, so I stayed quiet," Dodo explained with a smile. In a hushed tone, Dodo asked Mr. Pineapple, "Why don't you like parties?" Mr. Pineapple sighed and said, "Watermelons are delicious, strawberries are beautiful. As for me, I'm all spiky and sour. I'm sure no one likes me." "Mr. Pineapple, do you think you're not good enough, and that's why you don't enjoy lively parties?" Dodo asked. Mr. Pineapple nodded. "I have a solution," Dodo said. He went to the kitchen and brought back a bowl of salt water. Mr. Pineapple looked puzzled. "What's this?" "I am salt water, Mr. Pineapple. All you need to do is soak in me for half an hour, and you'll become sweet and tangy," Saltwater said with a smile. "Mr. Pineapple, your flesh is rich in vitamin C. I admire you greatly." "Thank you so much," Mr. Pineapple beamed. The fruits all applauded with delight. They joined hands and danced and sang into the night. The following day, Dodo excitedly told his parents and sister about the fruit party. His parents chuckled and said, "You must have been dreaming." Dodo's little sister believed his story, pouting her lips, saying, "Big brother, I really want to see the fruit party next time. Promise to wake me up." This charming story conveys a message about acceptance, self-confidence, and the joy of celebrating diversity, making it suitable for children to read and appreciate its heartwarming lesson. The Rainbow Shrimp. Mr. Shrimp had grown very old, and he could no longer swim. He could only lie at the riverbed. One day, after a massive thunderstorm, when the rain had stopped, little blue fish came to visit Mr. Shrimp. She said, "How about I carry you to the river's surface so you can enjoy the sunshine?" Mr. Shrimp saw the blue sky and the green grass again. At that moment, a rainbow appeared in the sky. Mr. Shrimp exclaimed, "Oh, what a huge shrimp! And it's even rainbow-colored." Little Bluefish chuckled and said, "That's a rainbow, but I see the resemblance." Mr. Shrimp, however, stubbornly insisted, "It's a shrimp. I'm going to have a chat with it." Mr. Shrimp swam forward on his own, but he accidentally flipped over. Little Bluefish rushed to help him. When Mr. Shrimp looked up again, the rainbow shrimp had vanished. Mr. Shrimp felt dejected, saying, "Even the rainbow shrimp finds me old." He returned to the riverbed with a heavy heart. Mr. Shrimp's health continued to deteriorate, but he never stopped muttering about the rainbow shrimp. Little Bluefish was getting worried. She pondered how she could comfort Mr. Shrimp. Little Bluefish sought help from her friends and asked them to transform themselves into a rainbow fish. When Little Bluefish swam back to Mr. Shrimp, he was overjoyed. He gently said, "Oh, it's the rainbow shrimp. I've been thinking about you all this time." "Me too," Little Bluefish replied warmly, "I'm here." She stayed with Mr. Shrimp, her body shimmering like a rainbow. This story highlights the importance of compassion and empathy. It's suitable for children to read and learn from as it teaches valuable lessons about friendship and understanding.